Hello and welcome, and let's make this a little bit of a longer video. I'm going to try to make this just a little bit longer, however. As I finished off the 2.5 minute warning with my last code being GUP, that of Guppy, I want to go over some other coins. I'm going to need some Bitcoin to buy these things. So I was planning last night to withdraw a little bit from my Cloud Bet account. I don't know if anyone else is betting sports on that site. But if they are, I figured a couple things out this morning. The bonus in which you receive, if you have one, you get 0.01 when you fulfill your bonus. As I finally got my first 0.01 back, and it's not that good of a bonus, but it's free. If it's better than nothing. And I did a withdrawal. Okay, it worked. They did charge 70,000 Satoshi for the withdrawal. They did not state such, but that's what the withdrawal cost happens to be. And I got one of two confirmations in my Bittrex account, waiting for that because I'll be looking to buy. So those are for people who have Cloud Bet accounts. That's a sports book which you can use Bitcoin to bet on sports. So let's go over some more codes. And like for example, I didn't go over CANN in the last video. I was going to. Now I don't trade CAN like I do a lot of the other ones, so I'm not on downtrends looking to buy. For this is a code I can arbitrage on a decent basis, and that's my method to increase the amount of tokens or coins in which I hold. But if I didn't do that, I would see a move like, okay, a move from 800 up to 1100. It's actually at the Fibonacci downtrend level now. But when we take a look at this for where it came from, well, that's where it is. CANN is at the upper end for where it came from. Fibonacci 296 is the low. I can round it to 3. I will not use that high. Rather, I will use the highs it came back to again. And it will say 2,600. So 300 and 2,600 will be the Fibonacci I will use. Which means I got key numbers in at 1139 and 685. So there's that 685 number. We're in at 642. It has barely pierced below. So I would probably think that this thing might only have a little bit of a move left before it has a better than okay chance of bottoming. Of course, if these key levels do not find support, and I never know if they will or not, you're just going on what the usualities usually are, then we'd be looking at 3 levels. One would be a 23.6. That's, well, that coincides with this 500. So you'd be looking at the below, a pierce below 500, or maybe a pierce above 5. It's a psychological number. But you'd be looking at the 300 previous low and then breaking down below that. You're talking new lows. I don't think that will happen, but if it does, you'd be looking at about 100 Satoshi. BRX is a breakout state. Based on this low and this high, the downside Fibonacci is in at 8429. Of course, I'm always looking for a pierce extra. So 8,000 is the number for me. Pierce above. I'll be looking to buy somewhere around there. 5,300 and about 2,900 and change is the key Fibonacci on XEM, New Economic Movement. So at 5,300, I put a buy order in for 5,000, and how's that one doing? Oh, not so good. So be it. So with that 3,000 key number, expecting a pierce below, I'll be looking to get in at about, I see resistance here in November, December at about 27. So that would be the approximate area I'll be looking to accumulate more, roughly at the 27 handle. This is Peseta coin. This is an easy target. You had this huge rise higher, and it's been in this downtrend, support, resisting this 18, new leg higher, resisting 18, and it's breaking support, looking like it's going to be a new leg lower. Further more, and sorry for that little glitch there. But the move in here shows the failed breakout beforehand. So that's just giving you extra reason to believe that it's going to have another leg lower. Where would the leg lower go down towards? Well, it's already retraced everywhere it can within the retracement from the high to the low. The low area is in at around the 388 handle, and it's in at 524. So that's where the next key level of support would be. Speaking even further below that, or more long-term time frame, you look at this, and then you have to start considering Fibonacci from these points. Now, when I look at this, I see a whole bunch of nothing going on. That's a case of logarithmic charts just not working. So what I would do is I would look at, okay, what's the high going to be? I got almost 5 or 6 times hit at 1290. I got 2 time hit at 1534. So I'm going to go with that one. That it at least was tested twice. A lot of times I can be a little cognizant or just not wanting to play some of these higher levels that just pull back. But if it comes back to it a second time, that's enough for me to validate it. So 1500 will be the high. As far as the low is concerned, I'm seeing this breaking out from 30. So 30 is the low, 1500 is the high. These are some just monstrous moves and monstrous volatility. Key numbers, 337, 134. Well, 337 is, well, that might be an area to consider going a little below this, but that tells me there that maybe I should consider seeing what Fibonacci would look like if I take maybe the 1184 has been hit on many occasions, even going down to 1150. So let's do it with 1150 instead. Key numbers, 286, 121 with 76 for at 486. So 486 makes more sense now. So therefore, yes, I would now be more confident on a break below that I'd be looking for a move at a pierce below 286 as the next level. 286 would coincide with it's just a decent leg lower from key low here, and then the 286 in here, which would represent the resistance point from last April. And then if you're only looking to buy low and sell high, well, you're in the early stages of buy signals, as you are now barely below the 18 average of lows on the 3-day time frame. And of course on the daily time frame, you are definitely in such a variant, but it's been in a grinding its way lower at this stage since the last decent or barely an okay leg lower in the end of the first week of February. Moving on to SCQ sequence, I'm going to put a lot of periods shown on here. It's very easy to read this one again. When you come down to the February lows, an attempt to rally, which obviously has failed, now back down to the previous level of support. You got a previous key low, and again at around 1480. It's an okay size leg lower from this one in here. And the all-time low on this happens to be in at 372, showing you within a lot of these codes what the risk reward can accomplish, or on either side of the fence. NEOS is also coming down to the previous key low in at around 31,000. ETC is in a cautionary field now. For price action is back to where it came from in January, November, and early November, which was also a major support level last August. It was the neckline to the head and shoulders pattern, which started forming in April of last year. It's not really an inverted head and shoulders pattern in here, but it's the same sort of analogy where you've got the exact same level on a neckline, but this case where previous support has been acting as resistance. It managed to get above this mark, making it up to the 4 handle, and came back down to this level of support on the 17th and 18th of February, which is what you normally would expect with a lot of markets. And then it started to lift off, but we can see here that this lower high has came in and retracement very close to the lows of about 3 days ago, 4 days ago, however long shortly back it was. Price action is still in this rising 18 average. So if this does not succeed, well, we would be looking at stage 1 of reversal of trend, which is that of band flattening out, and the potential for what could be gap fill within these retracements from the 135 handle and the 400 handle. So you'd be retracing within that. And well, you'd also we're still in work of retracing within the 2017 low and this high. So let's bring these numbers up, see what the relevance to these are, as it is very choppy within, of course, the Bitcoin crossing. Something I look for as a trader is choppy up and down action. And the key numbers calculated are 381 and 224. So 381 represents, well, pierce below is the neckline. And then the next number in at 2.25, 225. It majorly pierced below that number. It hasn't been anything, well, I mean, it was resistance here. It's been support. So it has been a decent size level. Of course, price action came back down to the 1.4 handle. That is a pierce below this 23.6 number, which was in at 161. So it's by all means in a large choppy situation, but when you consider again that 61.8% is 381, what the market is doing is testing this situation to bring it bullish against that of Bitcoin. And therefore, even when I talk about the concern within, you might call this an inverted cup and handle, and definitely a retracement from the 1317 handle and the 4000 handle, that can still be bullish to have a period of time where price action might retrace and lose 20, 30, 35%, and then just get back up and going after that. Because within all of this information, if you were to do something like I stated, where price goes, we just get a drawing tool in, where price comes in here and then up like that, and then it could very easily do something like that. Markets are always going to do what they're going to do. All I can do is do the best to predict it and put wagers or long and buy and sell orders in to try to profit from what I think. And of course, when I talk about my strategy for buying below the 18 and selling above, that is just looking at mathematics and history for how things work, and it just has been successful, so I'm going to keep on executing such. Next one is NXT. It's a very volatile code, as we see it go from like 1,000 and then move close to over 14,000, a 14x gain. It has hit down pretty hard for the last, well, basically all of 2018. It has been going in a sideways, making patterns of lower lows and just really more of a downtrend going sideways. It has had major support amongst this level, and if it falls below 1,578, I've had this drawn in for a decent amount of time, and going back below that, you'd be looking at previous low at a little below 1,000. BLK is black coin, and it had a down move, twice hit low on February 6th and February 2nd, making a move barely above the 18 average of highs, and now it's back down to where it came from. It has now been there for a couple of days, just hanging in there. That is a bearish situation. If this thing breaks down, I'd be expecting a move either to the previous December resistance in at around 2,400 and change, which represents a 76.4% Fibonacci down move. This support is the 61.8, so it's all doing what it normally would do. And then going below that, you're talking about the December lows in at about 17 3/4. But not every coin is really doing that bad. You got RDD, which is a red coin. It's been having this little bit of support at between 70 falling down to 63. It's had this recent move to flatten the 18 average, stage 1. Stage number 2, establish resistance, check. Stage 3 is back to the band, check. Okay. Well, now I know how the story plays. It's made a statement that it wants to revert trend. So if you see stage 4 occur, which is price action at around 113, 114, then we're going bullish. However, if this thing shows any type of signs that the 18 average of lows is weak, looking to get in, and it's barely rising at the 73 handle right now, oh yeah, at least a move down to this 50 handle. 50 handle, yeah, you know, it'd probably even go, I'd even consider lower than that. Probably down to 40 even. 35 to 40 as a possible area for support. Let's finish it off within meme. It's actually one of the winners today, but when you look at the chart, it really ain't winning too much. It's been in a downtrend. If you manage to buy at this level, you can see major support was in between 4,300 up to about 47. Decent size leg lower, barely. Well, there's an okay room from here to here, and there was now an okay room from here down to this low. So it's established 1 kilo. Now the support level for this area would be between 37.29 and 3,300. It most certainly can pierce below it and have support just a little lower if it goes sideways. But with a lot of these bear markets, it's very common sometimes to have these moves where you have its rally and it just ultimately fails. It takes a lot of work sometimes to get this thing going. You need a failed attempt like this, but not a big, you're not talking about making lower lows. You're just talking about going below the 18 average, consolidating a bit, and having a band flatten in that direction. There has been so many different situations before. I'm just trying to see if I could see any in the past on this particular code, which has done so in a bear market. And I haven't really seen too many, but I've seen a lot of it within, of course, the other codes. And I really don't think there's much more to go over. Let's go over some of the bigger ones. Ethereum against Bitcoin. We can see it's now broken down below this level of support. So Fibonacci time, you got a key high at 1,233 and a key low in at around 241. Key numbers 450, 861. What? Okay. 245, and let me just look at these numbers again. 661, 450. Okay. 661, so 650. I'd be looking for this as an area for support. And it makes sense what would happen either A, as we stand, it's going to happen in a grinding or 1 to 2 days from this point to happen, because the market has been doing that such, and it has had a little bit of, well, pause day yesterday and a little bit of that today. So I would expect it's either going to, like I say, just grind its way down or have a decent move lower without any rallies whatsoever, or we're going to have a short-term bottom in here, maybe come up to this 18 average and then consolidate a little bit before falling. However, with that being said, I see a very interesting pattern in here, and I think it's worth noting, and would be best shown, I think, on the either 4-hour or 400-minute time frame. So we'll start with the 400-minute first. Okay, so we have this level of support, which represented the early January lows, or early to mid, and then the mid-January lows. Any coinciding before? Yeah, you know, a lot of areas elsewhere coincide with other areas as well. But the whole point is, if you have a situation where you barely go below support, but noticeably is you do not have a good leg lower, and it has not. And you see price action, at least in this time frame on the 400, showing that its 18 average is bullish. You would then be talking failed breakdown to, well, the downside, and the possible fast move to the upside. And again, I'm saying this because when you have that key level of support of someplace, which it is here, it barely breaks below and then just regains it like that. Yeah, because you're expecting, if you're going to have this downtrend, you're going to break down this and have, again, the much deeper retracement, which would bring us to either one on a light move to 661 or a much deeper move to 450. And let's move on to Dash. And I haven't actually seen Ripple in quite some time, and I'm a little over 20 minutes, so these will be the last two codes on this video. 400-minute time frame. I can instantly see here that after coming down to this level, 1, 2, 3 green candles up to the 18 highs. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles down, breaking the 18 average lows and close to its previous support. On the short term, I can see this number says about 6,007, and this says 6,506. So this is very short term analysis. Down target of 5707 handle. But again, short-term numbers. Looking at this on the daily chart, it's at the lower end of what this sideways consolidation has been since roughly around the Christmas time frame. Every single time before it came down here, it rallied quickly. It did so on the 6th of January. It did so on the 17th. It did so on the day of the 2nd of February. And it did so after the 6th of February. It has now spent 3 complete days resisting an area in which has been support. Key Fibonacci. We're looking at a low of 344. We're looking at a high of 911. Key numbers are 628 and 500. So 628, of course, is this level of support we're dealing with now. Breaking down below this, we're looking at a move at about the 0.05 handle for its next level of support. Let's finish this off with Ripple. Okay, this is, well, oh, this is easy. This is easy. 2 Fibonacci analysis. We'll see how they coincide. We got Fibonacci downside. I need a downtrend. I need the downtrend. I need the downtrend to go higher, which is here. Yeah, we're going to be looking somewhere down here. And then Fibonacci from the December lows and these highs. So we'll look at the normal Fibonacci retracement in at 22,800. And 1115. Key numbers 7235. Hey, geek, 7200 major pierce above. Okay, let's see what else we got here. That's Fibonacci not working basically. So let's adjust the numbers to 241. And 375. Key numbers this way would be 4,900 and 1,900. 76.4 is in at 9,000. Okay, this one's working good. So 9,000 we can see is a Fibonacci hit on the 76.4. It looks like this number is going to give in, so I'm looking for the 61.8 below that, which works out to a long-term 38.2% down correction. That number is in at 49.13. I would expect, normally pierce below, but this was a pretty much hit. perfect hit. 5,000 is psychological as well. Yeah, I'd be looking for a move close to 5,000 on a break below. Now let's calculate Fibonacci downside from this support at about 8,600 and resistance in at about 13,600 change. Okay. We'll do 1360 and then 865. Down target is 654, so not quite the, but we also got this one here, this move going higher than here, so I could put the high in at 14.7 with the low at 862 and 1470. Its down target is 620, which usually pierces it. I would not go with the downside target. I'd be going with the regular Fibonacci, looking for a move of 5,000 if we can see that it's breaking down below this support, which looks very favorable to be the case. Also, I'm going to finish this off by stating, whenever you have setups that are strong, this is what I call a strong setup. Now, I don't mean this is strong that you short or sell now to go down, because this could very easily rally for a few days up to this band at 10 and then do such. But the probability odds, when I say strong, for it to test, well, we'll say 6,000 down to 5,000, in comparison to breaking out above this previous high and attempting to retrace higher, is extremely likely for the down move. So whenever I see situations in the past where one play is very much highly likely and it doesn't happen, more times than not, you get extreme fast moves in the opposite direction. And because a lot of these crypto coins have bearish setups, if they don't transpire, I will not be shocked to the furthest if these coins have magnificent up moves. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day.